Okay, for today's class, I will just do the Python introduction, how you run your Python in the Jupyter Notebook. And yeah, we will do some basic Python today to check whether it runs well on your computer or not. So we are going to look at the hello world. Usually we call it hello world because we want to do something at the first time. And then yeah, let's see how we can do with the notebook. For example, the markdown and the code and some basic statement. So hello world in the Jupyter. We are going to use Jupyter Notebook or the Jupyter Lab. So Jupyter Notebook is an open source web application that you can use to create and share documents that contain live code, equations, visualization, and text. So the word live code, actually, if you use the Google Colab or if you use the Jupyter Notebook with the web, you can share it to other people. But I think in this class, we do not learn about those things. So I will just use the Jupyter Notebook to write the text and then to write maybe some equations or visualization and the Python code. We will do the Jupyter Lab. So there is a little bit different between the Jupyter Lab and the Jupyter Notebook. In the Jupyter Notebook, it is only one page and we will do many things in one page. But the Jupyter Lab, it is the next generation user interface for Project Jupyter, offering all the familiar building blocks of the classic Jupyter Notebook. So if you use the Jupyter Notebook, you will just see one tab. But in the Jupyter Lab, you can see several tabs. So we can later on look at the Jupyter Notebook environment. For example, yeah, of course, the Jupyter Notebook itself. In the Jupyter Lab, you can see many notebooks, not only one notebook. And you can see also the terminal. The terminal means you can type with the script and you can connect to the computer for dealing with your BIOS and etc. And the Jupyter Notebook is a kind of text editor. So you can also make a text like notepad or memo jar. So you can also do the browsing. So in the left panel, you can browse your file and rich output means the output is not only text, but the output can be figure. The output can be sometimes video and flexible and more powerful user interface. So the basic idea of the Jupyter Lab is to bring all the building blocks there are in the classical notebook plus some new stuff under one roof. It means everything will be in the Jupyter Lab. So what you can get on the Jupyter Notebook, it will be all in the Jupyter Lab, including many other functions, for example, the browsing and etc. So you also can use other kind of functionalities if you install Anaconda. So did you install Anaconda? Yeah, I hope that you install it. Yeah. So if you don't install it now, please install it in advance because on Wednesday, I will do with the Jupyter Lab. So I hope that by today you can finish the installation of Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab. So if you install the Anaconda, you can see the Anaconda Navigator. Um, so in this computer, we have the Anaconda. So you can look at the Anaconda Navigator. So when we click on the navigator, usually it takes some time. And when you click on this navigator, it takes some memory of your computer. So I usually do not use this one because it will consume a lot of memory. Because in this navigator, actually it tries to run many kind of application. So you can see they provide you a lot of application. If you install it, then you can use it. If you don't install it, then okay, you will just leave it as it is. So for example, now I want to use the Jupyter Notebook. You can see here, there is the Jupyter Notebook. Or you want to use the Jupyter Lab. Okay, you can see here, there is the Jupyter Lab. And let's say I want to use the prompt. So you can also consider this another prompt. I will not explain the other things, but maybe in this semester you will just deal with the Jupyter Lab. If you have interest, maybe some of you think that I would like to use Spider. That's also okay. This is also another good tool for Python development. Or if you say that, Professor, can I use the PyCharm Professional? This is also good, but at this moment, I think, yeah, now PyCharm has a new rule for the license. So I need to get some license. And for this class, I will not use PyCharm. So I recommend you to use Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So I don't recommend with PyCharm at this class. So let's try with the Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook. Or if you want to use, there is no here, but we have another tool. They call it the Visual Studio Code. So if you are familiar with Visual Studio Code, you can try to use this one as well. But my class, I will use the Jupyter Lab for explaining the Python code. So the Jupyter Notebook actually is one of the popular tool. If you are a data scientist, you will use Kaggle later, a lot of time. And also in Google environment, they have what they call as Google Colab. So if you know about the Jupyter Notebook, then it will be easy for you to understand the environment in Kaggle and also the environment in Google Colab because they are similar. So there are Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook. Maybe some of you think that, okay, it is very easy to use Jupyter Notebook. I would like to use Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Or, okay, I will use Jupyter Lab. That's also fine. So both of them are actually okay. When I show you last in, using the navigator, as I mentioned to you, it consumes some memory. Okay. So I would like to recommend you. So in this case, let me close. Okay. So let me quit the Anaconda Navigator. I can open the Jupyter Notebook using command prompt or what we call as the yang prompt. So you can go to the Windows, search the name as Anaconda Pro. So you can see the Anaconda Pro. Instead of Anaconda Navigator, you can see Anaconda Pro. And in the Anaconda Pro, you need to type something. So this is the prompt, and you can see this is the C drive. The C drive means the location where you want to save your file. For me, I usually have several drives. So I have the C drive, I have D drive, I have E drive. So my data will be in different drive. But I think in this computer, they have only one drive. I remember. Check. Oh, they have two drive. Okay. So if you have two drive, you can go to, for example, the column, and then you can go to the other drive. You can save your files in the other drive. But as far as I know, most of you only use one drive. So most of you only use C drive, then let's just use the C. And then, yeah, you can try to locate where do you want to put your file. I can find the dir. Dir means directory. Directory means the place that you want to use to save your file. For this class, I think I will make a new folder. In your case, it's up to you, but in my case, let me just make a new folder. And making a new folder, I need to use the MD. MD. MD means make directory. So let's say I make the MD DSA 2025. So I can go to DSA 2025. So MD means make directory. So you can type MD and then type what is the directory name. In my case, is DSA 2025. And then CD. CD means change directory. I want to go to the directory name DSA 2025. Then I can type CD DSA 2025. Then after this, I will run the Jupyter Lab, or I will run the Jupyter Notebook. What you can do is just type, let's say I want to use the Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook. When you type Jupyter Notebook, then you will wait sometimes. The computer will run all things, and then it will go to one environment, maybe Google Chrome, or some of you, if you use Microsoft Edge, maybe it will open in the Microsoft Edge. If you use Google Chrome too much, then maybe it will go to Google Chrome. So this environment will be in the web browser. If you look at this one, this is the environment of Jupyter Notebook. So you need to make a single page of this Jupyter Notebook. So that's why I do not recommend with this Jupyter Notebook, because it is only single page. But if some of you have the knowledge about Jupyter Notebook in this environment, I'm also okay. But I would like to use the Jupyter Lab. Okay, let me close this one. So actually you can run again. Anaconda prompt. So you can start from the beginning, and then you still remember what is the command? MD. What is MD? It is to make directory. Okay. Try to make a new directory. CD is to change directory. Okay. So I want to go to my directory CD. I create DSA 2025, and then let me call Jupyter Lab. Let me call Jupyter Lab here. So like this one, you can make the command Jupyter Lab. Now it will open in the web browser. It is the same. It is in the web browser. But you can see at the left panel, okay, at the left panel, it is to browse your file. So this is all the tools that the Jupyter Lab can run. You can run notebook, you can run console, and you can run other file. Other file means the terminal, text file, markdown file, Python file, and etc. So it is more advanced than the Jupyter notebook. Okay, so this is the command. If you use the Jupyter Lab, then you need to type Jupyter Lab. If you use the Jupyter Notebook, then you can type Jupyter Notebook. And it depends on where you want to put your file. Actually, you can also change the directory inside the Jupyter Lab. So you can change the directory here. Yeah, we have this directory. Let's say I want to make a new folder. So you can make a new folder here. Let's say this is DSA, data structure and algorithm. So you can put every of your Python project here. So it is more convenient to use the Jupyter Lab. Yeah, if you think that, Professor, I do not want to use the Anaconda prompt, I want to use Anaconda Navigator. Yeah, that's also fine because it is in the visual, it is easy. You can just directly click and then you can run your Jupyter Lab. When you create the file, okay, when you create the file in the Jupyter Lab, you can see some options here. So you can find notebook, you can find console on, yeah, you can find others. So let me do one by one to show you how we can create a new file. Now, let's say I want to make a new notebook. So it means you will do here. This is the new notebook. And then you can just click. When you click, then you will see a new environment. So what we call this is the notebook. This is, we call it as the Jupyter notebook file. The Jupyter notebook file, you can see here, the extension is .ipynb. Okay. .ipynb. It means this is the IPython notebook. So NB means the notebook, and you can see there is a new file on the left panel. This is the new file untitled IPynb. Whenever you create a new file, it is good if you change the file name, because if your file name is untitled, maybe it is confusing. You cannot understand what is the meaning untitled. So you can go to this untitled, you can do the right click. Then when you do the right click, you can see there are many options. You can rename, you can delete, you can cut, you can copy, you can paste, duplicate, and etc. So I want to rename it. I want to rename the file. Let's say this is the Python trial. Okay. So now the name becomes Python trial. So if you want to rename again, okay, let me just make it Python trial 01. Okay, then it becomes Python trial 01. And you can see here, now the title becomes Python trial 01. So when you have the assignment, when I ask you to do the assignment, if I ask you, please submit your IPynb file, then it means you need to submit this file. This is the file that you need to submit for your assignment. Okay. And now, I think the advancement of the Jupyter Notebook, they have this assistant. Okay. So if you have errors or if you need some assistance, you can click this one and then you can ask to the Anaconda assistant. This assistant means something like ChatGPT. You can type, you can ask, and then they can give you answers. They can give you recommendation, especially if you have errors. I think when you have errors, you will be very stressful. So now, yeah, if you log in into the Anaconda, then you can get the assistance. And then you can share. Okay. So if you share means you need to access the Anaconda account and then you can share the link. Anyway, yeah, this is the good new tool for the Jupyter Notebook. Now, let's, before I continue, so anybody has no Jupyter Notebook in the laptop? So, si anak belum ya? Okay. So if you still do not have the Jupyter Notebook, please try to review again later. Okay. Now I will just continue with how we can do at the first time for this Jupyter Lab. The Jupyter Lab, it has the user interface like what you saw before. So the lab panel, it is more about the file. So you can add new file and then you can add new folder. You can add some extension. So what does it mean by extension? Let me just give you some ideas. In this extension, so there are many other extension. For example, I want to install this one. Then it connects to the GitHub, and then you can install it into your Jupyter Lab. If you have another tools, for example, Plotly. Plotly is to install the visualization. Then yeah, you can also put the plotly into your Jupyter Lab. So this is the extension, because when you first time to install this Jupyter Lab, it comes with the basic, so nothing. So you need to install many things to make it more powerful. And then there are some buttons upper side here, so you can do save. I think if you join the computer programming, it is important. Whenever you do something code, okay, please do not forget to save. Because if you do not save it, if it is, yeah, if something happened with your computer, then you will lose your code. New cell. So you can create a new cell using this one. Cut. So it means you cut the cell and then you copy the cell. You can paste the cell using this button and then execute the code. Or you want to stop the kernel, or you want to restart the kernel. And you can restart the kernel and run all cells. Okay, now let's see. So this is one cell. Okay. This is one cell. If you're familiar with Python, let's see with very simple Python code. Print. Uh, so I want to print hello. Okay, this is very simple code in Python. So I can execute the code with this button. So it shows the word hello. Because this is one cell. This is one cell. And then we can have a new cell. A new cell means you can do the plus. So when you do the plus, then there will be a new cell. If you want to cut this one, then you will delete or remove the cell. So here, yeah, you can restart. You can restart the kernel and run all the cells. When you use this Jupyter Lab, there's also a function to do the interface, whether you want to use code or you can use Markdown or you can use raw. The code means you can write the code in Python. Markdown means you can write description or comments on your code. Raw. Raw means you write using some other tools. For example, you can use LaTeX. So LaTeX is another kind of document processing tool. If you know Microsoft Word is the word processing tool. So LaTeX is also another word processing tool. It is available in this Jupyter Lab. Markdown, it is a lightweight and popular markup language. So markup language means is similar to the hypertext markup language. This is for the web. Okay. HTML is used for the web and it is made of the markup text. I will not teach you a lot of things about HTML in this class. Okay. Just very basic one to understand what is the markdown. So the basic comment of markdown, I think you need to understand only the basic one. Heading and emphasize. So heading, we can use the number sign. This is the sharp, followed by a blank space for notebook titles and section heading. So if it is one sharp, it is for the titles. If there are two sharps, then it is for the major headings. If it is three sharps, then it's maybe for the subheading. If there are four sharp, then maybe it is the fourth level subheadings. So let's see. So I need to change to markdown. So you can click here in the code, you can have markdown. So let's say I want to put the word introduction. So I put one sharp, and if I run this, then you can see this is very big. Now let me check with the other markdown. I have two sharp. So let's say the introduction number one. And if you have two sharp, it is small. Now let's say I have another markdown. I have three sharp. Introduction number three, number two. So if I run this one, then it is smaller again. When you put more sharp, then it will be smaller. Number three, then become small. Now, what happens if I don't put any sharp? This is the Python introduction. So if there is no sharp, then it is only just a normal text. Okay. So this is the meaning by the markdown. So you can see, yeah, you can use one sharp for titles, two sharps for major headings, three sharp for subheadings, and four sharp for fourth level subheadings. And the text can be anything. And you can also do the emphasize. For example, if you want to make a bold text, then you can put underbar two times or star two times. If you want to make italic, then you can make one underbar or one star. So let's see. I will use the markdown again. And then this is the start Python. Start introduction. Then if you do this one, what you will see is this is input. Maybe some of you will have question. Professor, can we change this one? Yes, you can double click. When you double click, then it becomes the raw text. So you can change. Now let's say I do not want to make it bold. I want to make it as italic. So you can make it as italic with one star. And then you can run again. Now it becomes italic. And you can modify, add, delete the cells using some functions in the cell. So you can see here, there are some functions in the cell. You can copy and paste. You can move the cell up. You can move the cell down. And then you can insert the cell above. You can insert the cell below. Or you can delete the cell. So this is the function to make it easy for one cell. So for example, okay, I want to remove this cell. Then yeah, you can just click this one. Then the cell has been removed. Or I want to move this one into the upper side. Then you can move this one, go up, up, up. Then the cell will be removed to the upper side. Or you can also do the drag and drop. So you can click and then you can move to the lower part. Then it is also possible. So every cell is very flexible. When you do the execution, okay, uh, as a programmer, I think you need to know about the shortcut. For example, I want to do this print Python. Let's see. Okay. So how we can do the code execution? So if we execute the code, then we need to press this one. But actually, we can do with keyboard. Okay. So there are two ways: Shift plus Enter or Alt plus Enter. If you click with the Shift and Enter, you will execute only a cell. If you do Alt plus Enter, you will execute a cell and make a new line. Okay, so Shift Enter. Oh, there is a new, yeah, because I think it is automatically to create a new line. Okay. If you do Alt Enter, then it will create a new line after you execute this one. So it's an option, because if you do this one with two clicking like this, maybe it takes time. So you can do after you type Shift Enter, then you can run your code automatically. And if you want to write some comments, I think you understand in Python, you can pick the sharp. This is the first Python to learn, for example. Okay. Then this is only a description that the Python will not execute. Then you need to understand the difference. In the markdown, you will use sharp to make heading, to make subheading. But in the Python, you will use sharp for description. Okay, so it is different. You need to understand where do you use for the sharp. If you use it in the markdown, then it will be for heading. If you use it for the code, then it is for description. Okay, additional notes. When you use the Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, the extension. The extension is .ipynb. Okay. And then you can move the cells to other notebook file. So now let's see if I have this file. Okay, I have my Python trial 01. Now let me create another file. So I will create a new file. So when you create a new file, you need to click this plus. Okay. When you click the plus, you will see this environment. Now I want to make a new notebook. So the new notebook, let's say I want to change the name into Python trial 02. So in the Python trial 01, I want to use this cell. Then you can do copy cell. So you can do the right click. You can copy the cell and then you can go to the other notebook and then you can paste the cell. So you can do with different notebook. You can copy and paste. Okay, you can move the cell and so on. So it is similar like the word processing tool. Yeah, if you want to make it easy, then you can just press the keyboard, for example, C. Okay, and then after you do the C, you can do V. Okay, so it is easy with the keyboard, C and V. And then if you want to delete, yeah, you can see if you want to delete, then you can just press D to type. So click in this cell and then click BD, then it will be removed. Okay. So you can just do the right click. You can see the shortcut here. X is to cut the cell, C is to copy the cell, V is to paste the cell, and so on. You can re-layout the notebook. So re-layout means you can change the layout. As I mentioned to you, you can drag and drop for every of the cell. And I think the idea of Python is the same with what you already learned. And so some of you, I think, new to Python. So I heard that some of you do not have any understanding about Python. On Wednesday, I will teach the very, very basic. So what you learn in one semester, I will teach you in 1 hour to just review the Python. So now let's just use this four comments about the print, because I think print is the very basic Python code. So print, we have the print means I want to show what is inside the bracket. Then I can see the hello Python, because the hello Python is in between the double quote. And in Python, there is no difference between double quote and single quote. Double quote, single quote, there is no difference. And then let's say if I want to print hello, and then I put the backslash, and then I put Python, and then backslash like this one. So it means I want to put the quote in between Python, so we can see the quote as well in the output. Or I want to print multiple lines. So I have the 3 double quote. Hello. And then I have Python and 3 double quote. So I can do this one. This is to teach about Python. And then good. Then you can print not only in one line, but you can print in multiple lines. This is the use of 3 of double quote. And the last one in this example, I want to show you how to print hello and I have \n. Anybody remember what is \n? \n. It is for print into the next line. So if I have the \n before Python, then it means I will go to the next line and then I will print the next one. Okay, I think that's all for today. So you know the first environment of the Jupyter and you know the notebook environment. Okay. So if you still do not have the Jupyter notebook now, please install and we will use it on Wednesday. Okay. Any questions, comments?